Shalom's brother Kadash, giving all praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Kadash. So just a couple updates on, pretty much world prophecies, just being that watchman, keeping an eye out for things that's going on, and just playing my part and spreading the word, Really these things is just like an eye opener. These world events, you're not supposed to get dismayed about them, but they're just an eye opener and more of a reason and gives you more understanding of why it's so important and why you need the Lord, and why it's so important to follow the Lord to the best of your abilities. When we say follow, we talking about the law, statutes, and commandments to the best of your abilities. That's the way that you follow the Lord, that's the way you show your belief, because when these things come, you could be the toughest dude in the world, but when all hell break loose, most of the time, man resort back to a higher power, praying for a higher power and really praying for salvation, So like me, I deal with the New Testament. Now I understand that like when we talking about the New Testament, there's errors and there's corruption and there's things that was changed and things that was added. That's a fact. That's true. There's scholars that say that about the Old Testament too. I have to look deeper into those things, but there's scholars that say Moses took things from the Egyptians, and they could prove it and show it. And then there's different texts, like there's texts that have differences between them, like manuscripts. And then I think I'm not really deep into the scholarship of that, but I seen a debate and they were talking about the differences between like Isaiah. Like there's an Isaiah scroll, but there's a manuscript, and there's differences. I have to get deeper into it, but they say the same thing about the Old Testament. So with me, and I was talking to the brother about this, my whole thing was I follow the prophecies. So we was always taught that you have to chew the meat and spit out the bones anyways. That's for Old Testament and New Testament, So we was always taught that, I just go off prophecy, the spirit of prophecy. So I still adhere to the New Testament, because if there's a correct prophecy in the New Testament, why would I not adhere to it? And then you can make the argument and say, well, I don't need the New Testament because that same prophecy is in the Old Testament. The difference is like, I give you an example, like Isaiah 34 is the same prophecy as Revelation 6, right? But it gives you different details. That's why it's needed. It's the same thing that's happening, but Isaiah 34 going to tell you, okay, pretty much this is the judgment of the Edomites, right? Coming down on them. But then Revelation 6 is going to break it down in the order of how it's going to happen. And then it's going to break down, it gives you more clues, like them hiding in the dens of the rocks and stuff like that. You can find those things in the Old Testament too. But if it's true, it's true. That's my whole thing. If it's facts, if it's true, I don't care if it's in the Old Testament, New Testament. If it's true, it's true. You know what I mean? Now, of course, the things that's added and the things that are not true, you have to deal with that. You have to be able to get past those things. Now, I seen also they said that Matthews, now just look this up, because I'm still in the process. With Matthews, they're saying that so Matthews is in the Greek. The manuscripts or the ancient text that we have is in Greek, right, as far as Matthews go. But now they're saying, no, there may actually be a Matthews that was written in Hebrew. And what they're saying is that Matthews written in Hebrew has differences than the Matthews that was written in Greek, the gospel. So when I'm looking at the New Testament, I'm like, man, they going off right here. They going off right here. They going off right here. The difference between me and what this brother was saying is I look at the things they going off like, okay, those are things that's added. If Yahweh Shai is in the New Testament saying something against the law of Moses, like I believe Paul in the New Testament, I have to get the precept, but he was saying how he was pretty much calling the law of Moses the ministry of death. Now, under no circumstances do I feel like it's acceptable to call the law of Moses the ministry of death. Because if brothers is out on the highways and byways teaching the law of Moses, and I come out and say, hey, you teaching the ministry of death, you're going to have a problem with it. You know what I mean? So, but just because it says that he said that in the text that we have now, see, there's different transcripts, there's different manuscripts. That don't mean the original one. You see what I'm saying? If it says Yahweh Shai is saying that he's God, and you got to worship him, and you have to believe that he rose, believe in the resurrecting and that he died for our sins, right? That don't mean that the original text says that. So I leave a door open for that possibility. Now I see what we got. You can say, well, this is what we got today. Okay, but at the end of the day, just because that's what we got don't mean there's not more out there and things won't be revealed as time goes on. They said that shit, where's that at? The Pope, right? In Rome, they said that they got like underground facility with thousands and thousands and thousands of different things related to the Bible and the church that's pretty much concealed. Like you just can't get in there. Pretty much they got it locked down like a fort. You see what I'm saying? So what's in there? And when those things finally come out, what's going to be revealed? You see what I'm saying? So I can't just go off what we got with the Bible we got that was put together and given to us. I can't say, oh, well, this is just the all in, all be all. No, it's more. There's more to it. And you have to admit that if you want to get deep. But let's go into some of these prophecies. Now, this goes to Revelations 18:4. I want to read it real quick. Revelations 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, that ye receive not her plagues. So you got to come out of this place spiritually, man, because you may actually get sent out physically. And I'm going to show you. You know, Trump has already came with, the immigrant things and, deporting immigrants. But he also was coming for actual citizens, because he was trying to get rid of the birthright citizenship. And that's still a process, and that's still a fight that's going to be going on. And probably until you get his way. But not only that, he's saying that, look, criminals now. They say American criminals, it's a possibility that they may send American criminals off to El Salvador and Venezuela. And these are U.S. citizens that they're talking about possibly sending over there. So who makes up majority of the jails in America? Well, blacks and browns, which are Israelites, according to the Bible. So now he got another way to get you out the country. So you got to give up this system, man. If they deporting and they deporting family members and the whole family wants to go with the dad or whatever. I just seen that it was a man that was in the United States for 20 years, a law-abiding citizen, pays taxes and everything. And they raided his house looking for somebody else. He was hiding in the attic, and they end up finding him and deporting him just because they just happened to bump into him. So you got to deal with that. So, if a father, if he's the breadwinner of the family, he gets deported, most likely if that family don't have more other family, they're probably going to go with him. So everything is caused by the Lord. And I believe the Lord is doing this to make you give up this system because our people is stuck on this system. Even Israelites in the truth. They play and all this and that, but they are law-abiding citizens. They follow every law 100%. They don't want to leave. They say you can leave America, but they strongly just disagree with you doing it because they don't want to leave it. They stuck on this system. Trump is also coming and saying that, see, I'm giving you, I'm being a watchman. I'm giving you the information on what's going on. Trump is also saying that, they're possibly looking at getting rid of income tax. Well, if they get rid of income tax, that means, hey, for all you women that pretty much rely on taxes on the child care expense and for your child care deduction, or your taxes, you're getting $10,000 back at the beginning of every year. Hey, without income tax, you're not getting that no more. Now, I understand you get more in your check, but you got to remember, a lot of these girls, they don't even work. They're just working enough to make the minimum so they can file, and then they can file their children as deductions and get the money. They're working part-time, and they work maybe 6 months out the year, just barely, just so they could be able to file taxes. So you got to give that up, those things that you was used to. Trump also said for the people that's on housing in Section 8, he said you got to the end of 2026, and then people are going to start getting cut off. So, I know women personally that are getting $800 in link and food assistance monthly. Their rent is maybe $300 to $200 because they're on housing or Section 8. They get another $800,000 in cash assistance monthly because they got 2-3 kids. Well, what you going to do when they take away that cash assistance? What are you going to do when they take away your link, your $800 in food stamps? What are you gonna do when you can't no longer live on housing and pay $300 a month? Now you have to go out there and find a 2-bedroom like everybody else, which basically a 2-bedroom these days is $1,000 and up. That's like the minimum for a 2-bedroom these days. So now you got to go out there and you got to spend $1,000 a month. You know what I mean? What are you going to do? And you have to do it consistently. Now you got to actually get out and work a full-time job, man. A lot of these people are going to be judged because they're not going to want to give up the system. But the Lord is making us have to give up this system, man. So I believe something big's about to happen. And check this out.
America. A potentially unprecedented offer from the president of El Salvador.
He has agreed to accept for deportation any illegal alien in the United States who is a criminal from any nationality, be they MS-13 or Tren de Aragua, and house them in his jails.
President Nayib Bukele revealing more in a post on X, offering the U.S., quote, the opportunity to outsource part of its prison system in exchange for a fee. And it's not just for people who are in the U.S. illegally.
He has offered to house in his jails dangerous American criminals in custody in our country, including those of U.S. citizenship and legal residence. No country's ever made an offer of friendship such as this.
But that offer, especially to take U.S. citizens, raising major concerns.
It's a non-starter to talk about deporting U.S. citizens. It's point blank unlawful.
Unless someone has committed a crime abroad, extensive constitutional and legal protections exist to prevent that in most cases. And for citizens of other countries apprehended here, regulations are still in place.
They have to follow the very strict requirements Congress has laid out, which means an agreement between the U.S. and El Salvador, but also an absolute guarantee that those individuals will be safe in El Salvador from danger, persecution, and torture.
Rubio today acknowledging it's unclear if such an action would be legal.
Obviously, we'll have to study it on our end. There are obviously legalities involved. We have a constitution, we have all sorts of things, but it's a very generous offer.
I mean, but see, he's saying there's a very generous, so they're looking into it, they're considering doing this. Now, the law could be changed. They do this all the time. Technically, we're not supposed to be paying income tax anyways. Or there's not supposed to be a such thing as like child support payments. But they changed the law to do those things. And then technically, even with the birthright citizenship, Trump said, look, if we got to change the Constitution, we'll change it. He said that. He said that, look, this is going to go. And there's judges that's fighting it, but there's a fight. He got 4 years, you see what I'm saying? So you got to deal with it. That just because it says something in the law, man, these Edomites, they could change it whenever they want to. That's why it says, so you be not partakers of her sins. Come up out of her, my people. This is what the Lord is saying. Let's keep playing.
An offer would put convicted criminals in President Bukele's notorious mega prison, known as the Terrorism Confinement Center. Built by Bukele to house alleged members of gangs that had once helped make El Salvador one of the most dangerous countries in the world. It has become a symbol of his crackdown on crime. That crackdown has swept up 80,000 people and enjoyed public support.
Los niños hoy van a las escuelas sin sus padres, caminan seguros, con la seguridad que van a regresar a sus casas y no van a ser secuestrados por los pandilleros.
That mega prison, the size of 7 football stadiums, with the capacity to hold 40,000 prisoners. Movements are tightly controlled. No mattresses are offered. Prisoners spend all but 30 minutes per day in packed cells.
Damn.
His willingness to consider the offer.
It's no different.
Day in packed cells. The State Department under President Biden called prison conditions in the country harsh and life-threatening. But President Trump tonight doubling down on his willingness to consider the offer.
It's no different than a prison system, except it would be a lot less expensive, and it would be a great deterrent. Send them to other countries. No, we'll have to find that out legally. I'm just saying, if we had the legal right to do it, I would do it in a heartbeat.
You heard what he said? He said, we had the legal right, I would do it in a heartbeat. He said, they got to figure that out. Look, you got to understand, like, the play, right? So it's a lot that's going on here. And, that's why we're here to break these things down to you. The Edomites, they needed us up until a certain point. They needed us to be their work labor, their workforce. But now, even dealing with Elon Musk, which is damn near Trump's right-hand man, their technology is developing to a certain point now that they don't necessarily need us no more. So when they don't need us, what do? What do you do with the slaves when you don't need them? Well, you can't let them free, because if you let them free, then they're going to go build up to a point where they're going to be able to come back and rival you and fight against you. You know what I mean? You got to dispose of them, right? So now they're building up drones. We just see all that drone activity that's going on, man. That's shit they testing, because that's gonna be the future, where you're gonna have deliveries with drones, man. You're gonna have electric smart semi trucks. They already have robots coming out. There's different robots that's out that you could buy right now, man. So imagine, a restaurant. You don't need servers no more, because you just have your robots do the serving job. And who does the serving jobs? Imagine a hotel or a apartment complex or something like that. You had to have workers, usually what they call brown people, Latinos, Issachar, be in there. You know what I mean? As the maids and the servants and the cleaners, and they don't need you no more because they have robots do all that. They got robots that can vacuum the floor. The robots are getting more and more advanced. So then what do you do with this population? You got to get rid of them. That's what we seen in 2020. That was a test. They ready to come with all the technology in their new system, but they have to get rid of that. That new system is not going to be able to sustain as many people as they have. So they have to get rid of people, and that's what it's coming down to. That's why they're talking about sending U.S. citizens out into Venezuela. And they don't care what happened to you when you get over there. They're going to make it seem like they do. But they don't care, and they could change the law, man. That's why all these things are coming now. They basically creating a mega prison country where they gonna send all the criminals to. Just imagine that. You got to think about the play on that. Why? Because it's cheaper. So if you look it up, I think like the U.S. government spends basically $50,000 each inmate. Because they have to pay these private prisons and the owners of the prisons for each inmate. That's the business. But if they could send you out to El Salvador, they could send you out to Venezuela, and they could pay $10,000 per inmate, the government, from the government standpoint, hey, that's cheaper. What did Trump say? He said it's cheaper at a way lesser expense. That's the whole thing. But we got to house these people. These people got to be here. These people are getting out, and then they get right back on the streets. Just send them to El Salvador. When you get sent there, you're not getting back out. When you get sent to El Salvador, you're not coming back 9 times out of 10. It's over with. How you gonna be able to contact your family? How people gonna be able to come visit you? They gonna have to travel all the way to El Salvador to visit you? At that point, you're pretty much done. And it wasn't just kingpins. It wasn't just El Chapo being sent, or, Big Meech or somebody like that being sent. No, he said shooters. He said people that hit grandmas up the side of the head with baseball bats getting sent. He said career criminals, people that's been in and out, they getting sent. And he said shooters, people that'll come up to you and shoot you for no reason, they getting sent. So all you YNs that's out here just drive-by shooting, killings, and all that shit, man, you getting sent, man. You getting put in there and you getting sent to El Salvador if they come with this. I think they is. At some point in time, we don't know when. It might take a little bit of time for them to get past the legal stuff, but I personally think they're going to come with this. I think it's a good thing. People stuck on America so bad. I heard a guy say, well, if they try to send me off to El Salvador, if I get in some trouble, they're going to have to kill me. I'm like, bro, the objective is to survive, is to live. You would rather give up your life than be sent to El Salvador? I know it's inhumane and it's horrible and you might die over there. But hey, as long as you still living, you can still be here for the end to come. Salvation. You got to read about. See, this is why the New Testament is still important. Read about Apostle Paul and being in prison and the angel coming and pretty much freeing him from prison. You gotta believe in that. You gotta read those things, because you might find yourself in a situation where you in prison, and the Lord may come and save you. Just look at what was that in? That was in Daniel. The 3 brothers that was finna be put into the fire in the furnace, and the Lord sent the angel down to save them. That could happen. You don't just give up your life while they trying to send me to El Salvador. But you want to know why brothers say that? It's because they stuck on America. They can't imagine not being in America. We love America so much as a people. We talk shit about America, but we love America so much. We love that DoorDash. We love that Walmart deliveries. We love that shit coming straight to your front door when you order it. That Amazon package coming straight to your front door. We love being able to have a fire department if something go wrong with the fire. We love being able to call a plumber just to come over and fix our shit, and we ain't gotta fix it ourselves. We love being able to just go get ground beef, and you ain't gotta, raise up a cow yourself and slaughter it for its ground beef. We love just being able to go to Walmart and get everything. We love these things, man. We love the safety of America because it's worse in a lot of these countries. We love the fact that we can just be on the internet, be internet warriors, and we don't have to see brothers face to face and talk face to face. We love the fact that everything is so much easier, even though we talk and shit and act like we don't love America and all this and shit. Even brothers in the truth, and I've been a part of this. We love America to the point where, you don't want to really wear your fringes. Like, don't wear your fringes just around on your regular day because somebody might notice you. It might blame the ministry for something, or since you got your fringes on, it might be a bad look. That's because when a person say that's because they love America. When they on a regular day, they want to just be treated as a regular American. And then you put the fringes on and you become an Israelite, and then you go out on the highways and byways and teach with your fringes on. And then, you sneak out of that place and make sure nobody notice me, what the bam, and take my fringes off. So, we got to deal with that, and I've been a part of that too, but our people as a whole love America. That's why that brother was telling me, he said he'd rather die than being sent to El Salvador. I said, if I was in that position, and they forced me to, and they said it was either death or I got to go, I'm going to go to El Salvador because you never know what's going to happen in the future. When Trump come out, another president might come back and say, bring all the U.S. citizens back. I'm still alive for that. You see what I'm saying? I'm not just going to give up my life. Those that endure to the end. Let me get a precept. Matthew 24. See, this is great things in Matthew 20. We just throw this away? No, you keep the good stuff. You see? So, verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So people are going to be delivered up. And guess what? You might be delivered up to El Salvador. Right? It says, and then many shall be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But this is the point. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same should be saved. In order to endure to the end, you're gonna have to give up America, like it said in Revelations. You're gonna have to. You're gonna be forced to give this up. So I believe in the MOTB. I believe in that it's a spiritual aspect to it. It is sin, It is a sin to take the MOTB. Is it just sin, period? All sin is the MOTB? No. You commit adultery, that don't mean that you got the MOTB and the MOTB. So it's not just all sin, but it is a sin to take it. But I believe in the physical aspect of it, of the being technology. We say the C-hip, but whatever technology they gonna get, that you're gonna have to use that technology in order to buy or sell, and it's gonna be attached to your person in some type of way. You see what I'm saying? Now, when that comes, and you can't buy or sell, guess what that's gonna force you? That's gonna force you to come up out of her. You're gonna have to give up this system, man. It's going to be hard for brothers, but you're going to have to give it up because your whole objective is to endure to the end. Right? Now, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom should be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. Right? And that's the point. It's not just about America. This supposed to be preached in all the world for the witness. Brothers act like in America, it's like, in America, if you get saved from America, you more special. If you in Africa somewhere and the Lord come down to save you, you still got saved, bro. And you don't know what order or what position you're gonna be in, or what the Lord's gonna bless you with. You don't know until the kingdom comes, bro. But brothers act like with Americas, we more special. See, that's still that American shit. That's still that American mindset. Well, we're more special if we get saved in America. And then it goes from city. Well, us in New York, we a little bit more special because we're in the Big Apple out here teaching. And then it goes down to section. Shit, we in Harlem though. We in Harlem. It's the same bullshit, man. And you see it with our people. Our people get the truth, but they don't ever grow up still. They still have their same old ways even while they in the truth, man. I see it so much. And that's why you pretty much damn near I'm for us having one camp, the House of David, and I believe that's still gonna happen. But you damn near is forced to be a lone wolf at this point, because these brothers, it's just too much going off. So you just gotta have, do your best, because every man must work out his own salvation with fear and trembling, anyways. So you just gotta focus on, hey, let me endure to the end. Let me work out my own salvation with fear and trembling. You see, I done seen brothers put so much stock into another brother, and the whole reason why they was in the truth is because this other brother was in the truth, and then when that other brother fall out or something go wrong between them, now he fall out the truth. I done seen that, or I see brothers, have a certain elder, and the only reason why they is in the truth is because this elder, but when that elder passes away, the whole congregation is split. I done seen that. So we gotta deal with that, man. You see, so I respect the elders that are elders as elders, but at the end of the day, we don't know if they the elect. So you got to put all your stock into the Lord. I mean, unfortunately, man would disagree. Well, the Lord set up leaders. Hey, put all your faith into the Lord and not man, because there's precepts that talk about that in Jeremiah. Woe to him who put his trust in man. Roughly paraphrase, you can't put your trust in man. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed because you don't know if they're the elect or not. You don't know until all hell break loose, and then we see. We're going to see when all hell break loose and we're led into the wilderness, who's the leaders that the Lord set up to do that. And you're going to know, because you're going to know, like when you knew Moses. How did we know Moses was the leader? Right? The miracles, the things that he was doing. Right? Same thing with Yahushua. And when we were led into the wilderness, right, you seen that direct connection between Moses and the burning bush and the Lord on the mountain. You seen Moses go up, but see, the children of Israel, it was our choice. We didn't want to go up. We wanted to send Moses up because we were scared of the fire and the power of the Lord. You see what I'm saying? So now that's undeniable that he's the leader. We seen him go up on the mountain. He's talking with a burning bush, or he's talking with the angel. We see the things that he's saying. We see the angel a fire by night, a cloud by day. We see this leading us. We see the water being split. We see the rock being split. We see these things. That's the difference from self-proclaimed leaders, dudes that ain't did no miracles or nothing like that today, and coming out and saying, well, we're the leaders. With Yahushua, we seen the miracles and the different things that he did. That's the accounts from the Bible. I say we seen because, you can look at it in a reincarnation way, we were there. Or you could look at it just, when I'm saying we seen, I'm saying from the Bible. Or people seen. You see, during those times. So I believe when all hell break loose, which is what we're leading to, we will see who the leaders is that the Lord set up. We gonna see who the Lord gives that power to. And then you gonna know when you see that power, the power came from the Lord. He's been anointed by the Lord. Rather than guys just coming out here and saying, well, we're the leaders of Israel right now. And then what happened when they passed away? Oh, they was a leader of Israel, but the Lord took them out. Oh, they was proclaiming to be a leader of Israel for all this time, but the Lord took them out. They was proclaiming to be a leader of Israel this whole time, but the Lord took them out the truth, took their crown away from them. They was never a leader of Israel, but they was proclaiming to be a leader of this whole time, and they had sheep that was following them and looking up to them, being leader this whole time for 30. Just imagine being a guy where you is looking up to this other guy as being a leader of Israel, and then for 30 years, then you find out that he was never that. That's a code, man. You're going to be, look what you're risking your salvation on. Imagine in the year 1990s, you had a leader that was screaming and yelling that the world was going to end in the year 2000. And you was like, no, this is my leader. And you was out there repping that the world's going to end in the year 2000. Now, the Bible is telling you no man knows the time or the date. That's what the Bible is telling you, but you ain't setting the Bible over you. You setting these men over you because they telling you where the Lord set up leaders, and we those leaders that the Lord set up, because they telling you that. And now you believe in that, and now you going against the Bible that tells you no man knows the time or the date, and you going with these men telling you to do because you believe in them. Then it comes to find out that year 2001 come, that they were wrong and that they're not leaders, and you've been following these men for 10 plus years. Imagine that. All that time you wasted. Well, guess what? You could have just put your faith in the Lord. It just followed the Lord and followed in the Bible. The words there. You see? So you got to be, because every cult is going to tell you that. Follow me. We're the man that the Lord set up. They're going to go to the Bible, say that the Lord set up leaders, and give you examples without really the full context of it. And then they're going to assert themselves and say, well, that's us today. Who else is it? So come up out of her. So you be not partakers of her sins. With that, I'm going to say salvation to you, like Shalom.